I think we've outgrown this. So guess what? We're going to show you how easy it is to choose a tripod. Stay tuned. So before we go into the different types of tripods that are available, let's go over the reason why you want a tripod. Number one, you just want to get sharper images. You want to get better quality and detail working in lower light and in environments where you don't want to work with a super high ISO. You want to work with the lower ISO, getting the capability of that sharper shot. You also want to be able to get better depth of field, especially if you're doing landscape photography and panoramics. Plus, HDR, that's become really popular with today's cameras, and you're going to need a steady surface to be able to get those HDR shots. You're going to be doing macro shots, and it's going to be so much easier doing it with a tripod than hand holding it. Also, you want to get different angles. That way you can get a different perspective, which will be difficult to do while actually holding the camera. You're working with larger telephotos. The super telephoto craze is incredible. Most manufacturers have 500 and 600 millimeter lenses available. It's going to be difficult, regardless of how much image stabilization your lens has, to work with something like that handheld. That's where the tripod comes in. You also want to be able to do any kind of sharp, jitter-free video. The tripod is going to help you out because it's going to give you that added stability that you can't do while hand holding your camera to get sharp, good quality video. And of course, you want to get in the image yourself. You want to do selfies, you want to be in the picture itself. It's so much easier to put it on a tripod than to try to look for a stable surface or a plank or somebody to hold it for you. And the other aspect, believe it or not, you're walking around with expensive equipment. In today's world, this tripod is going to help you defend yourself to keep your equipment. So now let's take a look at all the different types of tripods that are available. So welcome to Anatomy 101. Anatomy of a tripod, that is. Okay, so first of all, you're going to have legs, 3 of them. That's why it's called a tripod. And they're going to extend. Very few of us are going to get a tripod that doesn't have extendable legs, because then you have to go back to working with a larger surface or a stable surface. So it's good to get a tripod that has extendable legs. They're going to have leg locks. They're either going to be a flip lock, which just opens it up and releases quickly, or they're going to have some tripods that have a twist leg. It all depends on the model of the tripod you choose. Now, most of them are going to have an extendable column. That means that once you already extend the legs to their full height, you're going to have the capability of extending the camera even taller by having a center column that also levels up. You can get tripods that allow you to get really low to the ground because the legs are fully adjustable, so you can extend them depending on the terrain or how close you want to work to the ground to do macro shots. Some tripods allow you to actually inverse the column. So you can actually reverse the column the other way and get closer to the ground to do macro shots. And then you have tripods that the column also allows you to put it at a 90-degree angle. So that also allows you to do incredible HDR, panoramic, and macro shot capabilities. And you're also going to have the most important part, which is the tripod head. This is the part where you're going to attach your camera or lens, because remember, sometimes if you're working with these super big telephoto zooms that are out there, you will actually attach the lens to the tripod and not the camera. But I digress. You're going to attach it to the tripod through a head. It comes in many different versions, and I'll show you some examples. You have ball head, you have video heads, you have 3-way heads, you have panning heads. There's many different ones, but they're all going to end up 95% of the time with a 1/4-20 thread. That means that that's the bottom connector to your camera or lens. It's a 1/4-20, so you can attach it on there. And again, it threads right on, or some of them also have quick release plates for easy connecting and removing in a hurry. All right, so choosing the correct tripod depending on the camera is very important. You got to look at the features that you're going to need. Okay, so you're working with a small mirrorless or maybe a hybrid or small DSLR, you can work with something that is a much more compact tripod and allows you to take it with you everywhere, because I've always said the best tripod is the one that's with you. You don't want to jump into a super big heavy duty tripod and it stays at home all the time and you go back to hand holding your camera. So let's say you have this smaller camera, you have the capability of working with a smaller compact tripod. But you also have to take into consideration how much height you're going to need. If you're a taller person, you might need a tripod that's going to extend up to eye level. You don't want to be bending down all the time. So that also comes into play. So now if you have to step up to a bigger tripod, you got to look at the capabilities of how far the column extends or the legs extend. That's going to add weight and also price point. Remember, you want a tripod that holds the camera the way you're holding the camera, or even better. You don't want to skimp on the tripod capabilities. The next step is you also want to take a look at the construction of the tripod. There are plastic and aluminum features out on the market, so there's a lot of tripods that have become lighter weight that way, but then you have the tried and true all aluminum design that gives you sturdy stability and gives you the capability of holding heavier lenses and camera equipment. But you also have something else that's become really popular, that's carbon fiber. The carbon fiber tripods allow you to carry as much weight or more, but it's a lighter weight tripod, so it makes it much more easy to travel with. And that's where the tripod prices are going to vary depending on all the features that you want. But what you have to remember is you have to choose a tripod that is appropriate for the equipment you're going to take. So the rule of thumb is you want to make sure that it's a tripod that will accommodate the weight factor of your camera and then some. So if you tend to grow, you get something additional like maybe a monitor. So you're doing video, so you might work with LED lights or microphones. You need a tripod that could grow with you also and allows you to take additional equipment and attach it to it. And you also want to take into consideration the heaviness of the lenses that you're attaching. So if you're going to start working now with larger telephotos or ultra zoom lenses, you need a tripod that will accommodate usually 1.5 to 2 times the weight factor that you're working with right now currently. Now, what you have to do is you have to come to a conclusion how much you want to spend on the tripod, because how often you're going to use it. I don't recommend you go out and spend thousands of dollars on a tripod and then your photography needs change and you have a $1,000 or $1,200 tripod sitting at home with your cat or dog because you switched to drone photography or videography. No, you have to get something that's appropriate with your needs and how much money is not going to break the bank. You can start out with something very compact and economical that works with your small mirrorless DSLR or hybrid cameras. Manfrotto has many to choose from under the $100 price point, like the Compact and the Compact Advanced. And then you can step up your game if you're working with larger DSLRs or you want to do video. You can look at something like their Be Free or Be Free Live system that allows you to both do stills and video. And then you can step up in the larger category size like the 190 and the 055 series that you're now going past the $200 price point, but you're now getting a tripod that allows you to work with larger telephoto lenses or super telephotos that are going to need much more stability. And it also gives you the capability of inverting the column or setting it to a 90-degree angle. That's where you start getting into the larger price point. But again, it's up to you to get the tripod that is going to fit your need and your capabilities without breaking the bank. Okay, so we went over the needs and wants and necessities of a tripod. We also went over the anatomy of a tripod, the way it's put together, the weight and the capabilities of it. And of course, we went over the size and the price point of your tripod. So now, hopefully all this information is going to allow you to choose your first tripod without having to go through a lot of overwhelming and considerably terrifying moments. If this video helped you out, as always, don't forget to hit that like button underneath and subscribe to the channel for future tutorials, unboxings, frequently asked questions, and wonderful videos such as this. And if you're in the Miami area, come by and say hello so that way you can take a look at our tripods and you can ask us all the questions that you have at the Digital Goja showroom. Happy shooting.